Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Becky here with special guest
The Duff Man.
And we are here to do a tag video.
Yay! What is the tag?
Back to the Future.
Yes. I love Back to the Future.
Okay, you are my tripod and you are shaking the crap.
They can't see it in there.
You love it so much you have a screen background of our children.
Yes, there you go. I have a DeLorean in my thing.
All you're showing is...
There you
go. Okay, so we're doing a little bit of running around today, so we're just going to answer a question in a different spot every time, because why not?
Sure.
Keep it
that
interesting.
Sounds like fun.
So, name a movie or book or show that makes you want to go back in time when you were younger and enjoy it all over again.
Reboot was one I always really enjoyed, especially when it got to like the more serious... When I got to the serious stuff, I was super into it. When Enzo gets lost in the games. If you know, then you know.
I can't think of a movie, book, or show that makes you want to go back in time. When I was younger,
I really enjoy it.
I was watching Full House, and I rewatched Full House as an adult, and I was like, man, there's a lot of like, not sex, but like dating and kissing and being like, I really want to hook up with that person, but like in a PG sort of way. And I was like, I was watching with my kids and I was like, man, this is a lot of dating stuff. And then I couldn't even watch Fuller House because like it was just too obsessed with, I need to have a man in my life. So I don't know if I'd want to go back. I guess I'd want to go back and rewatch it with the innocence of childhood. Because watching it as an adult kind of ruined it. A movie, book, or show. So we both picked a show.
Oops.
Is there any... Stop moving the camera so much. You said you would hold it.
Yes.
Is there a movie you want to go back and watch? Back to the Future?
Back to the Future is always a good one. I don't know. Like, I don't like being put on the spot. I have a hard time recalling things when I'm put on the spot. But I'm sure there's a movie that I like to watch.
Armageddon was like my favorite as a kid.
I liked Hackers
and Titanic.
a lot, but
I ruined Titanic for myself.
Hackers is a dumb movie.
Well, I know how Titanic ends with the sinking of the ship. But I ruined the part with Jack and Rose.
Why'd you throw the heart of the ocean in the water?
And a book. Is there a book you'd want to go back and... Where the Red Fern Grows. That's like my favorite childhood book. And Summer Sisters by Judy Blume.
I used to read Archangels, which was a cool comic book series I really liked. It's like a Christian comic book series.
So you want to go back in time and reread
those? I used to read the Garfield.
Which we still have like all of those.
They have these... It's like, see, and as an adult, I'm like, what a dumb series. But as a kid, I loved it. Like, yeah. I used to always get the new Garfield books, and then Garfield came out with like a superhero series where they're all like super buff and stuff.
Nice.
And I really liked it as a kid.
Yeah.
So. Well, I left my Snickers in Dimension X was always one I really liked. Bruce Colville.
So we're going into Cora's for brunch. I guess it's like noon now, so maybe we'll try and record a video in there. We'll see how that goes. Your head is still not in it though. So we gave up at Cora's because it is super busy because it's a Saturday and we normally go on a Thursday. So we are at Fat Burger.
Yeah,
which also has... Did you get a burger?
Yeah, a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, and I got eggs, so... Alright, here's our questions. What's your favorite sci-fi and or fantasy book, show, movie? So this isn't just a book tag, apparently. It's show, movie, whatever. So what is your favorite sci-fi fantasy story, I guess?
There's a lot of really cool ones. I've always really enjoyed Metroid.
You could add...
Metroid is one I've gotten more into as I've gotten older, but I still like it as a kid.
Is that a book, a show, or a movie?
It's a video game.
Yeah, that's not ours. It's the one option they left out.
Well, growing up, I always liked Star Wars. I still like Star Wars. The extended universe stuff, like I said, The Mandalorian and stuff like that. That's just off the top of my head. I'd have to think of something else. So.
I think the sci-fi books I like are, what's his name? Andy Weir. He did The Martian and what was the one we just read? Project Hail Mary.
That one was really good.
Dark Matter wasn't bad. It took us a long time to read it though. Like a really long time.
I liked it. It was a cool take on...
Sci-fi, Jurassic Park.
You know what's also really good? Steins Gate. That is a show. That is an anime.
Oh, okay.
So the original Steins Gate is really good. It's a different take on the time traveling trope. Like time travel always has certain tropes and stuff to it, but this one is like a different take on it. I really enjoy it.
What about fantasy, sci-fi? That's like Jurassic Park is like one of my favorite books, and The Lost World too it's a better book than movie. And I enjoyed the Jurassic World movies though, like Jurassic Park and World, just for the dinosaurs, like just
for the actiony parts of it.
Velocipaster.
Velocipaster was pretty dope.
That was like,
I don't know what you would call it.
On your scale, it's like a -10 out of 10. -10.
I don't know what you would consider Mad Max Fury Road, but that movie was really good. I know you were like, you had your reservations to watch it, but I've seen it like 3 times.
Oh, really?
The action moments are amazing. They're really cool.
Is there a fantasy book or show or movie that you like? Star Wars would be fantasy
Star Wars is always
too.
good. I've always really enjoyed Lord of the Rings. That's one series of movies I can always just watch. And again, people always slam on like the Hobbit trilogy and stuff, and whatever. Like, say what you want about it. It's not amazing, but it's also a fun adventure.
But if you just take it as the movie,
yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Like, you're not like one of those hardcore, it's not like the books or whatever, but if you just take the Hobbit movies, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah, but like the set pieces and stuff in it are really cool.
Yeah.
Like the dwarf aesthetics, like with their armors and stuff, and the way everything's very angular, like the design and costumes, and again, like the set pieces that they make for those movies are amazing, and they really draw you into that world. The whole
Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, like it's mostly like in New Zealand and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like it's very beautiful. I can't think of a fantasy. I haven't read a lot of fantasy or watched a lot of fantasy.
I haven't read a lot of books in general. Heir Apparent was a cool fantasy one.
That's not fantasy though, that's sci-fi.
It's sci-fi fantasy. It's sci-fi technology to get into the fantasy world that she's playing in.
There's like dragons and stuff in it?
There's a dragon at the very end that shows up.
It's been a long time.
But it's fantasy, it's like medieval. She starts out as like a peasant when we start the game.
I don't read or watch enough fantasy to think of a fantasy one. More sci-fi. The Shadow and Bone is like fantasy. We both watched that show.
Or Narnia. Narnia's a fantasy.
Narnia would be fantasy, yeah. So the first Narnia book, like the wardrobe one, was good.
I liked all of them. Well, yeah, the wardrobe one.
They were all good, but I just recently reread them, and I think like just on its own, the Narnia, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But if you want a more modern, indigenous retelling of it, what was that one called? I just read it. I'll pop up a picture of it, but that one was really good, and I gotta read the other 2. I pre-ordered the paperback for the 3rd one, and now I gotta buy the 2nd one for it. But that one was really good. If you like Narnia and wanted a middle grade indigenous retelling, Canadian retelling of it. How was your Fatburger breakfast sandwich?
Delicious. That was actually very, very good.
The best thing they have is milkshakes. Real, hand-scooped, hard ice cream milkshakes. Delicious.
I got a BLT breakfast sandwich.
Strawberry milkshake. I always get vanilla. I don't know why. I just vanilla all the time.
You're very vanilla. Strawberry is my jam. Everything strawberries, please.
Jam. Strawberry is good.
Yeah, good. Strawberry jam is good.
Even that, like, strawberry is not my favorite. I don't mind strawberries, but I prefer like raspberries or cherry jam. Cherry jam is really good. That's not what any of this video has to do about, but anyways, let's get on to the next question. What is your favorite fruit? Back to the Future. What? Charlie's is right there.
I was like, I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, me neither. And then you park in there, and we're gonna go get a dog leash because our dog chewed through the dog leash thing. What's a moment in a book that takes place in the past or future that you'd like to visit? You were talking about Scythe.
Oh, yeah, Scythe, yeah. Scythe has got a cool utopian future kind of thing where, like, you can't die and stuff. And, like, you got nanobots, basically, that will, like, numb your senses and stuff if you get hurt. Things like that. It's really cool. That is cool. I like that idea. And then you can basically do whatever you want. Kind of live forever-ish. If you know, again.
Yeah, well, there's scythes that help control the population.
Yeah. Well,
But you can't die. You can't die from like natural causes. The only thing that can kill you that they never figured out was fire.
Yeah.
If you
And
get
sharks.
burned. And sharks?
Yeah, sharks.
Just if you get eaten.
If you get eaten or
And
burnt.
digested. Yes.
If you get eaten or burnt was the two ways they couldn't bring you back.
What's a moment in a book that takes place in the past or future? I'm reading through the Outlander books, which takes place in the 1700s in Scotland and France and the West Indies and America. I don't think they travel to Canada. That's like the one place in the world they don't travel to.
I'm sure it's a good time to be alive as a woman.
The 1700s. It was
Being
better than
sarcastic.
better than as a white woman. It wasn't as terrible. I mean, I could have died in childbirth or from a cut on my finger or whatever, but I mean, anyone could die from. Yes, that happens. Actually, she almost gets burned at the stake.
Exactly.
But she was like, kind of, Claire, the main character, is kind of witchy in the sense of like, she has 1940s knowledge of medicine in the 1700s. So they're like, you're a witch. Because you know how to heal people.
Well, if you know the Castlevania series, like the anime, the Netflix anime, that's what happens to her. The church goes in and raids her thing because she's got all these medical herbs and stuff that she's making for people who have these common diseases.
Yeah.
Right? They come in, they don't understand it because to them, they're like, this is witchcraft.
Yeah, basically.
So they burn it and then they burn her at the stake, and she was the wife of Dracula, so of course Dracula's like, let's unleash literal hell and its demons on the population. And that's what he ends up doing.
But 1700s Scotland would be a cool place to visit. Maybe. I don't know. Scotland today would be a cool place to visit.
Yeah.
Scotland itself. England, Scotland, the UK.
All of the places.
All those places. Anywhere would be cool.
New Zealand.
I'm trying to think of a futuristic book I've read. Well, Scythe. So we can go into the future and see Scythe, and into the past and see Scotland in the 1700s.
Well, and
I'm gonna get copyrighted, dude.
Sweet. Heir Apparent also has Heir Apparent. The beginning of it takes place in the near future.
Yeah.
And they don't talk a lot about the near future. It's just because the bus she's on is an automated bus.
Oh yeah, right.
Trying to make a long story short, the one cool thing that they do explain about that near future is the fact that they have realistic VR, basically.
Yeah.
Where you actually feel like you're there. Like there's no suit or anything you wear. You just sit down, they put a helmet on, and it gives you the full experience.
It's what's that movie called?
Ready Player One?
No. You're just lie down in these beds, and they put these machines on you, and
Not
you
the
live.
Cube, eh?
And you live it's kind of like the Matrix movies, but it's not the Matrix. Was it Bruce Willis or something in it? One of those guys was in it.
It's ringing a bell. It's starting to sound familiar.
Yeah, and if you die in there, then you die or they're killing people in real life or something. And he has a wife, or there's something to do with his wife.
You're not talking about Looper, are you?
No.
So was Bruce Willis too, isn't it? That had something to do with his wife. But they didn't have what you're talking about. Because usually we get a muffin that's ready and skip a beat. Thank you.
So the movie we were talking about was called Surrogates, and it was Bruce Willis. And for whatever reason, you're living in a dystopian world, and you can't just walk around. You have to be hooked up to some machine and live your life through a robot, like a surrogate. And it came out in 2009, and that was the last time we watched it. So it might be interesting to watch again, but.
It's been a while.
And got some coffee.
Remember the guy's a cop too?
Yes. And we're gonna pick up groceries because we're having a charcuterie board tonight. Just expensive. I spent almost $200 on groceries. And it was mostly snacks. What's a fictional store, cafe, etc. in a book, show, movie you'd like to visit?
Oh man, there's so many cool ones that I can't think
So
of.
there is a book out there called Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and a lot of people have read it, and it's translated from the Japanese, and it is about a coffee shop where there's a very specific chair you have to sit in, and there's a few stipulations, of course. There's the rules to it, but you can go and visit anybody from, I think it's only in the past though, and they have had to have come to the coffee shop. I don't know if they've had to have come with you or not specifically, but they have had to have visited the coffee shop at some point in the past. You can talk to them, whatever. You can meet up with these people in the coffee shop, but you have to stay sitting at that chair, at that table, and you have to finish your meetup before the coffee gets cold. And if you're late, if your coffee gets cold and you don't go back to your time, to your present time, then you are like this old ghost woman that sits in that chair all the time. And that's one of the stipulations. Like when she gets up to leave to go to the bathroom or whatever, then you can sit down, you steal her spot and like go visit somebody. So that would, I don't know, the idea of like visiting somebody from the past is kind of, it's cool, but also kind of like, I don't know,
daunting.
Yeah. Is it gonna really fix anything? I don't know. A fictional store or cafe. So there's that cafe in Japan, so that'd be cool because it would just get us back to Japan. And you don't even have to travel in it. You don't have to sit in that spot and do the traveling. A fictional store. I read that book, The Bookish Life of Nina Hill, and she worked at a bookstore.
There's a
No, there's a bookstore. I didn't really like the book a whole lot, but it's like a Paris bookstore. And it's like on the water. It's on a boat. They literally at one point pull up anchor and just go down the river. That would be a cool bookstore to visit.
There's this restaurant in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I think it's Diamonds Unbreakables. This is the season or whatever it's called. And there's a chef there that has a stand that they'll make like food, and whatever it is that you eat from there like heals up like any ailments that you have.
I want to go to that one.
Anything.
I'm still
apparently.
sick.
Yeah, you just like, you eat the food, and for some reason it seems like it's gonna do like this horror thing and like break your bones, but it actually like does the opposite and makes you feel like amazing.
Okay.
It's so weird.
Random.
That's just the first thing that came to mind.
Thank you for calling Superstore PC Express.
Name an automobile or way of travel in a book, show, movie that you'd like to take for a ride, and what is it from?
Again, first thing comes to mind is, because we were talking about reboot, is the I can't remember what they call them. They're like zip boards or something. They're just like two paths that are connected together, and you can literally just fly. You just stand on it. They're called zip boards. They're from like reboot, and they're like these two pad things that you stand on. They're connected, and you can literally just fly wherever you want to go.
Is it like
I
a
don't know how you
hoverboard?
keep your balance on it, but I'm sure
Is it like a hoverboard idea?
essentially, but it can go up, down, it can fly.
Yeah,
it can
yeah.
literally fly.
But looks like a hoverboard. Speaking of Back to the Future, the DeLorean or whatever, I feel like that'd be terrifying because you gotta go like how fast and then get like zapped by lightning, basically. How many gigawatts?
1.21 gigawatts.
Yeah. That seems like it would be terrifying to actually travel that way.
Well,
We should go to the mall, which is right there.
They use plutonium to...
And plutonium. Like, that's terrifying. You're either getting struck by lightning or using plutonium to travel.
Well, that's why they had to do the lightning thing, because they couldn't get plutonium in...
Yes, I know that. To get the 1.21 gigawatts. We need to go to the mall and find a set of sheets for our bed. But my brother knew a guy who had, it's a DeLorean, right? He had a DeLorean and he's like, it's so cool, I'm gonna get all the women. No, just guys stopping and being like, hey, that's that car from that movie. And he didn't get any women from it.
Yep. Just dudes.
Yeah.
Or get me a mech from any anime ever.
A mech, yeah.
Mech suits are cool.
Or like that Pacific Rim, speaking of movies.
Now when you need two people, you have to have like a neural interconnection link thing.
That's true.
Most anime mechs are like single pilot ones, so you can just jump in and be like...
Name an automobile or way of travel. Going back to Outlander, I don't want to travel through the stones. It feels like your body is being ripped to shreds, apparently, and it's very difficult. Yeah. So not that way.
You could do the Hitchhiker's Guide thing. Fly around through the Heart of Gold and use the improbability drive. that makes you go through like different dimensions and turns you into goop and whatever as it's being used. So you get to feel all the different things. They get turned into like in the movie they get turned into like thread and stuff like that. And when they come to, they're like,
yeah. It makes me think of Inside Out when they're walking through that.
The train thing?
Yeah, but it's like the abstract thought.
Yeah.
And they turn into like the 1 dimension and 2 dimensions and stuff like that. Yeah. She's like, fall on your face and then you'll be flat. And then they're just like sticks and they like wiggle their way out. I can't think of another mode of transportation right now that would be good. Or the flying train from the Back to the Future 3.
What about the cat bus?
Oh, from Totoro? Or the train from Back to the Future 3.
That's pretty sick.
The flying train.
The flying train. There's so many good shows I've seen that have cool
Outlander
ways of transport,
again.
but I can't think
Outlander
of
again, they travel a lot by horse. Just straight up horse, because they're in the 1700s. And I've never really been horseback riding before. I wouldn't want to do it as my main mode of transportation, like all the time. Like they spend days on the road riding horses. But it would be cool to go horseback riding. Alright. And the last one. What is your favorite fictional scientist?
Ooh. Oh man, I don't know. Dr. Wiley. No. I mean, Dr. Emmett Brown has always been a cool one. But there's so many really cool ones. I just can't think of them off the top of my head right now.
I know. I can't think of any fictional scientists.
The guy from Dr. Stone is kind of cool.
The
manga.
Frankenstein.
Keep saying "get excited." That's his like catchphrase. Which one?
Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, Frankenstein.
I don't know if they're my favorite. They're kind of a douche to his monster after.
Yeah.
You need to read that book. It's really good.
Frankenstein's monster.
It's just called Frankenstein. But yeah. I never did read that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. That one might be a cool scientist. I don't know.
Maybe.
Emmett Brown, classic.
Dr. Emmett Brown is classic. Rick from Rick and Morty.
Is he a scientist?
He's kind of a douche, yeah. Well,
he's kind of a douche.
No, he is. He's an asshole because he knows like everything. And then it's kind of like once you know everything and you understand how everything works, it's kind of like you don't care.
Yeah.
And that's his whole attitude, right? He doesn't care. He just does whatever he wants. Well, Rick and Morty is based off of Back to the Future, off of Marty and Emmett, Dr.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The two characters are based off this, but it's just like an Adult Swim version of that.
I know people don't really I don't know, but The Big Bang Theory, I know it's kind of problematic now and stuff like that, but I liked it when it first came out, and I enjoyed it and stuff.
Good show.
I liked, I don't know, Leonard.
Like they're actual scientists.
Yeah. And what's her name from Blossom? You're always like, whenever...
Oh, yeah. I can't remember what her name is.
Whenever we see her in anything, so I was like, hey, she's the chick from The Big Bang Theory. And I'm like, she's Blossom! Mayak something, her name is. Yeah. She has a really good...
She's a real scientist too, isn't she?
I believe so. But she has like a podcast. I watched it on YouTube. But it's like called The Breakdown. And it's her and this other guy. Really good podcast.
I was going to say Neil deGrasse Tyson, but he's not fictional. He's real.
Thanks for doing this tag video with me.
Of course.
And traveling around and...
An honor.
Going over breakfast at Fat Burger. We don't do that very often.
Yeah, we don't usually do our date at Fat Burger.
I'm going to get home to the kids and I'm exhausted. And I got to edit all these videos. And I have another Would You Rather book tag to do together. So...
Nice. We're doing that one together.
I need to bulk film some stuff because I am behind and I suck at consistency. So, thanks for watching.
Ciao.
Bye.